What's up, guys? This is Ed here once again for the Blood Type Online YouTube channel, and we're here for another review in blue. And we've taken a look at a lot of pretty obscure movies, at least for the Blu-ray thing, so far, doing the review in blue. A lot of Blue Underground stuff, a lot of cult stuff, and that's kind of where I wanted to keep this. But occasionally, we're going to have some releases that are more mainstream. I don't feel the burning desire to cover a lot of these movies because a lot of people already know about them. But occasionally there's some mainstream films that get released that I get really, really excited about. And this is definitely one of them. This was released on Blu-ray already, but this is the Ultimate Hunter Edition of the original Predator. Just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, Predator is probably my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie of all time. Being that I grew up a fan of Schwarzenegger and a fan of horror films, it's not really surprising to figure out that my favorite Schwarzenegger movie is when he meets the horror genre with the Predator. So I love the movie. I have for a really long time. And plus I grew up a wrestling fan, and anybody who knows anything about Predator knows that Jesse the Body Ventura plays a character in the film. He plays one hell of a cool character in the film too. But this was actually a release I was really excited about, and I hadn't seen the previous Blu-ray release of Predator. I know that it was rather bare bones, something this one is not, which is very cool. I'll get into that in a second. But first, I want to address a little something that's kind of been going around the internet that I've been reading. For those of you who don't know a lot about the HD process, there's something called DNR that is occasionally used by some people to reduce the amount of grain in a film. And I'm assuming this is the reason why this is done. But a lot of times with HD films, people want to see these movies like glowing on the screen. They want them pristine, no grain, everything looking beautiful. And I don't really have a problem with that necessarily, especially when it comes to newer films, because a lot of these films are being made for the Blu-ray format or HD in general. So it's understandable with new films. They should look wonderful. That's actually what Blu-ray was made for, new films. But when it comes to older films, sometimes they don't hold up as well, or at least they do show a bit of grain. And from time to time, I've heard people complaining about the way that certain films look. And they say, oh, it's too grainy. And I mean, there is a natural grain with a film that's 30, 40 plus years old. There's just nothing you could do about it. Well, until now. The DNR process that I was talking about earlier actually is used to reduce this grain in pictures. And it was something used on this edition of Predator. A lot of people have complained about it. Personally, I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me so much. It does look extremely good. Everything is super, super clean. I even noticed that in the very beginning of the film, if you're familiar with Predator, there's a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he first shows up, he's wearing like a red colored polo shirt or something. And it's just, I really noticed it the first time I popped this in, just how clean everything is. That's the first scene that, like, once the bright colors come into effect, you can really see how it's cleaned up. And especially whenever you get into the darks and the dark colors, in the film, the blacks, and the very specific, facial features. A lot of the guys in the movie have some, like, stubble and beards and stuff, and when you get close-ups, you can really tell all that stuff. It looks great. But I can kind of see the people's complaint because it is very clean. It looks like a new film. And some of the natural grain that was there was taken out of the movie, which is a little bit unfortunate. You don't want, at least for me anyway, it's not something that I'm going to be up in arms about, but at the same time I'd like to see the movies presented as close to their original self as possible. And unfortunately that was not done here with Predator. But here's the saving grace for everybody. There's been a lot of complaining about the disc, right? Fine. That's everybody's opinion. You're allowed to have it just like I'm allowed to have mine. But I will say this. One reason that you guys are going to want to pick this up is all of the badass special features it has. So even if you are upset about the DNR that was used on the movie, fine. Whatever. keep your DVD, enjoy your DVD. Cool. But if you're a huge fan of this movie, and even if the DNR does bother you, okay, check this out. It has a ton of special features on it. Now I'm going to read these because there's so many that I couldn't possibly remember all this stuff. First off, it does have a sneak peek at the new Predator film, Predators, which by the way I really enjoyed. Also didn't really care about the ending, but that's for a whole nother video. But it has a little sneak peek of that on here, so that's cool. Also, it has a photo gallery and Predator profile. The photo gallery is typical. It's what you would expect, you know, shots of, you know, from the movie set, stuff like that. But the Predator profile is pretty cool. It kind of shows you some of the weapons and some of the things that the Predator uses and what the Predator consists of from head to toe, which I thought was very cool. And it's a little interactive menu. You can kind of go back and look at stuff, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was cool. It has deleted scenes and outtakes, which was something else I enjoyed. Just to see more footage that was shot for the film that I'd never seen before, so I was excited about that too. Short takes with the filmmakers, special effects featurettes. These are awesome too, especially the special effects featurette. If you know anything about Predator, even if you haven't seen the movie, I'm pretty sure you can figure out that it's pretty special effects heavy. That is true, and the featurette on here about that stuff is just really cool. Stan Winston's on here talking about the conception of the whole Predator thing and how he wanted to do it, and you know, they show you there's a lot of artwork and stuff from the conceptual drawings and the things that they were trying to come up with for the Predator. Very cool stuff. Also, it says, also it has Inside the Predator featurettes, which is a series of featurettes broken down all about the movie. A lot of it shot on set, so that was very cool too. I like that a lot. As well as If It Bleeds, We Can Kill It, The Making of Predator, which, don't quote me on this, but I want to say that I'm like 80% sure that that's a featurette that's actually in HD. And if it's not, then the Inside the Predator featurettes are in HD. It's one or the other. I just don't remember offhand. It's been a few weeks since I've watched it. So, but I wanted to tell you guys about that. It has a very nice, this is just an additional thing added on, but I really liked it. It's text commentary by film historian Eric Lichtenfeld, which is cool. It might not be something that you're going to run to, put this in your Blu-ray player and just immediately check out, but it's something that down the road you might want to check out. Some cool information in there too. Also, it has Predator, Evolution of a Species, Hunters of Extreme Perfection, talking about it's a featurette talking about the Predators themselves. And it has audio commentary by director John McTiernan, who also shows up on the documentaries that are on here, as does Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's some very, very cool stuff on this disc. I mean, if you're a fan of the film, these special features on here are stuff that you're not going to want to miss out on because they're really badass. There's a lot of cool stuff, and to me, this is a great example, special feature-wise, of what a Blu-ray should be. You know, it's great to go back and watch movies that you've seen a bunch of times, especially when you already like them, and that's a great thing. Okay, I'm not trying to run that down, but whenever you can do that and you have a bunch of special features that you've never seen before, a lot of it examining the ideas behind the films, and especially whenever you're talking about something like Predator that's really special effects heavy, and there's a bunch of cool stuff on there about the special effects, how they were made, how they came to the conceptions and everything. It's just allowing you to dig really deep into the film Predator. So I really enjoyed that. Because of that, I'm going to give this edition a recommendation. If you have a huge problem with the DNR, like I said, don't buy it. But if the DNR is not going to bother you too much, or if you can just ignore the fact that the DNR was used and just enjoy the special features, it's definitely worth it for that. So that's a big, big recommendation for Predator. I love the movie. Special features kick ass. This is definitely a worthwhile buy in my opinion. So check it out. Predator on Blu-ray for Review in Blue. This is a recommendation. So once again, I'm Ed. Take care. We'll see you around here next time.